Things are about to pop off in the Middle East, and you might say, well, you know what, Benny, it's been popping off. We've been seeing some of the apocalyptic footage out of Iran and what the president and B-1 and B-2 bombers have been doing across the country's bridges and missile factories and drone factories and power plants. And, well, you'd be right. It's been really bad, but it's about to get worse. Because Donald Trump's about to do the single thing that is going to enrage the Iranians more than any other thing he has done to this date, including but not limited to killing the Ayatollah. And Donald Trump was at the funeral this afternoon of 4 service members that were lost when an Iranian ballistic missile was able to zip through missile defenses in Jordan and hit our troops in containerized housing. It's too bad. I wish that the troops didn't have to live in like little sheds. You know, they're like they're effectively trailers. And this was President Trump just minutes ago at the dignified transfer in Dover, Delaware, of these 4 soldiers. Donald Trump leaving there was enraged. It obviously moved. You know, remember, this is where Joe Biden looked at his watch, right? He was like staring at his watch, trying to get away. Donald Trump saying, oh no, the only people that won't be getting away here are the Iranians.
Investigation as to how they were killed in Jordan.
No, they're doing that. That'll be released.
You know what? It was Iran targeting barracks.
I don't know. Well, they're going to pay a big price. They're being decimated.
Donald Trump says they're going to pay a big price. And then he posts on Truth Social minutes after that saying he's ordered CENTCOM to open the gates of hell into Iran. Open the gates of hell after U.S. troops launch strike on Iran. Well, here's what the gates of hell look like. And it doesn't come in the form of bombs, or at least not yet. Donald Trump is about to approve a nuclear deal with Saudi Arabia. Oh, no. Oh, no. Just a little understanding here. Saudi Arabia and Iran are approximately the exact same size. They are the 2 juggernauts in the Middle East. One is Shia, one is Sunni. And they're very different types of Muslim, and they're very different types of government, obviously, and very different peoples. And they hate each other a lot. And they have very, very different priorities. And, you know, and they're both ancient cultures that have blood oaths sworn against each other for a very long time. And so Saudi Arabia getting a nuclear weapon instead of Iran with America's blessing. Oh no, that is going to piss off the Iranians more than anything that has happened to this moment. President Trump has approved a nuclear deal with Saudi Arabia that could lead the Middle Eastern kingdom into enriching its own uranium, the U.S. has confirmed. And the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Here we go. The deal, expected to be formally announced today, is submitted to Congress, will be in effect through 2056 and will be worth tens of billions of dollars. The pact was first reported by the Wall Street Journal. Under the terms of the agreement, American firms will construct uranium enrichment facilities in Saudi Arabia upon the conclusion of the joint feasibility study by the 2 nations. If Washington and Riyadh agree the steps are warranted, officials say American influence is meant to prevent the program from being misused for military purposes, LMAO. It's funny how that works, you know? If Washington and Riyadh agree to these steps, then, Wednesday announcements will further enrage Iran, the main goal of which is to prevent the Islamic theocracy. It's a great Middle East rival, not for like a couple years, since the beginning of time, frankly, like since antiquity, since 600 AD, right, with the advent of Islam and the schism of Islamic belief, like Iranian, Saudi Arabian interests have warred effectively since ancient times. This is the creation of Islam. They hate each other. And now Iran is getting nukes. Just call it what it is. They're getting nukes, okay? Saudi Arabia's crown prince has long warned that if Iran developed a nuclear weapon, his country will do so also. Saudi Arabia does not want to acquire a nuclear bomb, but without a doubt, if Iran developed a nuclear bomb, we will follow suit as soon as possible. Uh-oh. Trump sparks fear as he signs Saudi nuclear deal. Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. The Saudi nuclear deal. U.S. companies play a central role. They'll develop the nuclear infrastructure. It opens the door for uranium enrichment on Saudi soil with America's permission. The deal does not impose the gold standard binding commitment to forego domestic uranium enrichment. Safeguards rely more on bilateral U.S. Saudi monitoring rather than the baseline Atomic Energy Association. Yikes. So this is like a very special carve-out deal. The Saudi Arabia, they'll sign the deal this evening. Oh my. Saudi Arabia in the last 10 days hit Houthis in Yemen, interviews the Israeli president. This is the Saudi news channel. Saudi UAE ministers appear together. Trump on the phone with MBS announcing a nuclear deal. Trump approves nuclear deal. This comes amid U.S.-Iran escalations 3 months before Israeli elections, and a reminder that in order to be part of the Abraham Accords, this was something that like Saudi Arabia was asking for. So the subtext here is that Saudi Arabia wanted to join this sort of large economic and security pact with Israel and a bunch of Muslim countries called the Abraham Accords. It's like a huge triumph of the first Trump administration. And this was their ask. Okay, let us get a nuke. So this is Saudi Arabia's ask. And it looks like that's what they're getting. So I just want to preview for what happens next. What happens next is maybe they join the Abraham Accords. And then there's like this giant united block of countries that go in to decimate Iran. That's not what I want to happen. I think that would be very bloody and really bad, obviously, and lead to a lot of deaths. But that is seemingly the direction that things are going. So it is what it is. Marco Rubio comments on the U.S. Saudi nuclear agreement.
About anything with regards to that. Yeah, I'll let the White House officials sort of put out an official statement about anything with regards to that. But I saw the same reporting this morning. But let me let that go through. And if I'd prefer it be put out when there is something to say that we'll say it and through official channels.
He's good at this. He doesn't pop off. Trump has approved the Saudi nuclear agreement that would last for 30 years and allow the country to enrich uranium. Oh boy. Hot damn. Here we go. Trump attends the dignified transfer, and he says it's one of the hardest things I have to do. Certainly is, as a president. Donald Trump saying that Iran is also going to have a very hard time and is preparing for massive strikes tonight. The word on the street is that, and you don't know, I guess, until the strikes start, the word on the street is that Iran has been trying to fire off ballistic missiles all day today. And they haven't been able to get there. The reason they haven't been able to get there is because every time they roll out one of these very large and very slow-moving missile launchers, they hide them in these big tunnels in the mountains. Every time they roll one out, it gets yeeted like instantly. They can't get the missile off, right? It takes quite a bit of time to like set these things up. And sometimes you need to move them really long distance in order to get the missile fired. Donald Trump saying, from this point forward, anytime the Islamic Republic shoots at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, missile, rocket, drone, any other weapon, the United States will bomb and destroy one bridge or power plant, including those located next to the capital city of Tehran. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yikes. Trump approves landmark nuclear deal with Saudi Arabia. Big win for the kingdom. Big win. Deal could mean large profits for American companies, but also raises concern about the nuclear proliferation in the Middle East. Yeah. You know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. The Iranians are, of course, preparing, like here, U.S. missiles reportedly just hit an electrical substation connected to Iran's nuclear power plant, knocking out the external power to the facility without directly taking out the reactor itself. Okay. Here we go. So many people effing around. So many people finding out. My major take on this is when you have the cards, play the cards. If you don't have the cards, don't play the cards. Like you're doing this with the guy who wrote the art of the deal. And Iran can't protect their infrastructure. They can't protect their airspace. They don't have any air force. They don't have any anti-ballistic technology. They can't shoot missiles out of the ground. They can't shoot the bombers out of the sky. They can't do anything. And so you're gonna have a very, very bad time. So why extend the pain? Like, is it just because of the vibes? Very, very bad decision because the 500-pound bombs are now dropping. Very bad decision because it's going to be it's going to be a tough roll. Israel on heightened alert after being informed the U.S. and Washington plans to escalate strikes on Iran in the coming days, including the first use of heavy bombers in the conflict. Pickaxe Mountain believed to be a key target. Woo. A source close to Iran says that Iran does not consider any of the concession to the Strait of Hormuz as a resolution of the conflict. A tool of the Strait of Hormuz must remain in Iran's hands and stay closed until it fully impacts the political economic indicators of the United States. They're saying they're going to use the Strait of Hormuz to cause economic damage to the U.S. The source adds that in the event of the U.S. strike on Iran's infrastructure, Iran will directly attack the infrastructure, including Trump family assets in the region. Cool, bro. I don't think that's going to end super well for you, but I'm sorry for you, or I'm glad that happened. Either way, it's going to be bad. So lock in, Patriots, and pray for peace. As we always say, pray for peace. That's sometimes the best that you can do. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.